Hi everybody. In this video, we'll discover the notes on the staff for the C major 5-finger position, and we'll learn how to play 4 pieces on pages 14 and 15 by reading the notes. And of course, the fancy term for notes is musical notation. Look how smart you're becoming. Learning to read notes is what will advance you as a musician. Let's review the C major position. Here are the notes on the keyboard. If you'll remember, we have C through G in the right hand using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we have C through G in the left hand using 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Remember to keep an octave apart between the two C's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 keys apart. Let's look at this on the keyboard. You want your right hand to be on middle C, and your left hand should be on low C. And together the hands should find the same letter names, C through G. Now drill the position by taking your hands on and off the keyboard. Just slightly off and slightly back on. But do this several times to make sure you can find the position easily. Now let's review the notes for the C position, and here they are. Remember, we learned that the note G was on the second line of the staff, and that the fact that the G gets its name from the G clef, or the G sign here at the beginning. You can almost see a fancy G buried into the shape. We also know that line 2 is the G line, so that any note placed on line 2 automatically is called the G. From the G, you can trace all the notes of the C position by going down a step and back one letter name. So we see G, back to F, down a step to E, down a step D, and down a step C. Remember, C is off the staff, so it requires a little line of its own called a ledger line. Let's look at the other hand as well. By the way, another name for the G clef is the treble clef. Treble means high, and you might think of treble choirs or a treble voice. Treble choirs tend to be children or boys, and those, of course, are high voices. So treble clef indicates the high notes, and you will always use the right hand for those higher notes. Let's look now at the notes for the left hand in the C position. We know that the bottom staff, the 5 lines and 4 spaces, has another sign on it, and that gets its name from the note F. So literally, it used to be the F sign. Now it's called the F clef. Of course, at this time, we have dots left where there used to be arms of the F sticking out. And so the line that passed between the 2 dots is called the F line. And any note on line 4 automatically takes the name F. Now from F, you can trace all the other notes of the C position by going up a step to G, down a step to E. Notice how the letters begin to reverse, down a step to D, and down a step to C. And so they all are in relation to the original F from the F clef. Another name for the F clef is the bass clef. Of course, bass means low, and we think of bass guitar, or a string bass, a bass fiddle, or a bass voice. These are all low. And so the bass clef represents the low notes, which will always be played by the left hand. So to summarize, you will want to memorize the notes of the C position, maybe making some simple flashcards with 1 note per card. here are some of the flashcards that I have. Notice the G with the G clef on it, and the F with the F clef, and the two middle C's, which both have ledger line, one for the right hand, one for the left. Let's look at these notes on the keyboard. First of all, our G will be found here to the right of middle C, and then we have our middle C, which is down a fifth. Here's our F, and sometimes the left hand is required to do a middle C, but in this position, our F is found buried into the low C position. And so F will be the fourth note up here, just like it was on the fourth line. And here the G is on the fifth line. So you will want to memorize those C position notes as soon as you can and recognize where their position is on the staff. However, you can also read music by watching how the notes move on the staff. Let's take a look at that method now. Here's the warm-up on page 14. You might have your book handy for that. Since the notes are on the top staff, we will play the right hand first. Where the notes move to the bottom staff, it will be the left hand's turn. Notice how the notes move from a line to a space to a line to a space going up. Here they stay the same, and then they go down by steps. Starting on C, we will simply play the steps going up. Up a step, up a step, up a step, and same. So we went to the right, and same again, down a step, down a step, down a step, and down a step. These are called second intervals or just seconds, but I like to call them steps. If we add the left hand, we're going to start on low C, and notice you can find it, and it gives us a finger marker 5. We'll go up a step, up a step, up a step, up a step, and same. Same again, down a step, down a step, down a step, down a step. And that's pretty much all there is to it. I like to watch the steps and the direction, the up and the down are the same. Now you also want to make sure that you go back and play again, but say the counts so that you develop a very steady beat right from the beginning. You want to have a stable pulse in your music at all times. Let me play it again and show you how I would think the steps and the sames, but I would say and count the beats. Watch. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Change hands. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you are going to want to play finger to finger, very smooth and connected, a style that we call legato. Legato connects the notes from finger to finger, and that smooth connected style imitates the sound of the voice. And what we call a lyrical style, kind of song-like, and the voice always connects note to note. So we want to imitate the voice with our fingers in this case. Now, let's look at the next page, which is Au clair de la lune. And let me think here. Au clair de la lune, we can read the notes we can read the notes for Clair de la Lune on page 15 in the same way. The only difference is that sometimes there are 2 notes in a row or 3 that stay the same. They remain on the same line or the same space. Here are 2 more at the end. In this case, you just play the same finger twice. We call these types of notes the same or sames. You will also notice in measure 3 that 2 of the notes move from one line to the next line, and they skip the space in between. Since the space on the staff got skipped between the 2 lines, you also have to skip a finger. In this case, we'll go 1 to 3, and we will skip over finger 2. Let's play. We're going to start with our thumb on C, and we're going to go same, same, up a step, down a step to C, up a skip, 1 to 3, down a step, same, and down a step. And of course, the best way to do that is to come back, play it again, and say the counts out loud, like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Next comes Frère Jacques, or Brother John, a little French folk song that will sound familiar to your ears. You've probably heard it a million times. This piece works in the same way, only the notes are printed on the bass staff this time, so we anticipate hearing low notes played by the left hand. If we glance at the music, we can see that the notes are mostly steps going up. However, the 3 notes at the end are steps going down. There are a few skips as well, and I like to circle the skips in advance so I don't miss them. So here I notice a skip going down from a space note to a space note, and it missed the line. And in the next measure, the same idea. We have 2 space notes in a row, and it misses the line, so we have to skip a finger. In this case, it will be 3 and 5, missing over finger 4. Let's go ahead and hear how this song will go. We're going to start on a low C with the left hand, 5, up a step, down a skip, same, up a step, down a skip, up a skip, down a step, and down a step. Simple as that. But of course, the best idea is to play it again and go back and count the counts aloud. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, up a skip, 1, 2, 3, 4, step down, 1, 2, 3, 4. Fantastic. Lastly, we come to Ode to Joy. An ode is a poem or a tribute to joy, celebrating the brotherhood of man. This is a very good test piece. If you glance through the notes in advance, you will see, again, mostly steps and sames, exactly how, as we have encountered in past pieces. Notice once again, the right hand plays first, followed by the left hand second on the second line. Here's how the music sounds. Starting on my right hand, I will begin on 3 because they gave me a little clue. They write the 3 there. I'm going to go 3 on E, same, up a step, same, down a step, down a step, down a step, down a step, same, up a step, same, down a step, and same. And the left hand now begins on 3 the same, up a step, same, down, down, same, up a step, down, down, and same. And that's how the music sounds. Remember to keep the quarter notes very even without distorting or jazzing the rhythm up, especially at the ends of the lines. I would go back and I would play it again, but this time I would count to make sure I have a steady beat. Listen. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Left. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And notice how I kept both hands up on the keyboard, even if only one was playing. It's always good to leave both hands in position and not have to come back from your lap to find your place all over again. So, to summarize, if you use a combination of note reading, memorizing the note names by their position on the staff, and following from note to note, moving in steps, skips, and sames, you will quickly build your note reading skills. Work hard.